He had riches and honor in abundance. And then a thought came to him. Why not give his beloved, beautiful daughter to marry King Ahab's son? Hi guys, this is Shiro, Fearless and Fiery for Christ. And today the title of this video is Death Almost Took Him Out, But God. So this person I'm talking about, who had riches and honor in abundance, is King Jehoshaphat. So he decided to connect with King Ahab in marriage. And then after some years, he went to visit King Ahab in Samaria. So when he met King Ahab had a proposition. Will you go with me against Ramoth Gilead? That means, will you go with me to battle these guys of Ramoth Gilead? And so King Jehoshaphat answered him, I am as you are, and my people as your people. We will be with you in the war. To which the king of Israel, Ahab, gathered the prophets together, 400 men, and said to them, Shall we go to war against Ramoth Gilead, or shall I refrain? To which they replied, these 400 prophets, Go up, for God will deliver it into the king's hand. But wait, King Jehoshaphat didn't buy that. So he asked around, isn't there another prophet of God? And he was told by King Ahab, yeah, there's a guy, there's this prophet, but he always comes here with doom and gloom. Nevertheless, Micaiah, a true prophet of God, was called, and true to what King Ahab had said, he did prophesy doom and gloom. Or rather, he prophesied what he had been told by the Lord his God. He saw all Israel scattered on the mountains like a sheep that had no shepherd. This prophet wasn't prophesying any win whatsoever. Nevertheless, off they went, King Jehoshaphat and King Ahab, to battle, dismissing what Micaiah had said, but not before Ahab had given instructions that Micaiah should be imprisoned, probably for his insolence. Because, friends, people do not like the truth. People seem to rejoice in unrighteousness. People seem to rejoice in lies, especially like in the current world we're living in, with so much propaganda, so much deception, so many half-truths. When you tell people the truth, you're going to get attacked sometimes. So Micaiah, the true prophet of God, prophesied what God had laid upon his heart, and he got punished for it, imprisonment. Nevertheless, the story continues. King Ahab and King Jehoshaphat, off to battle they went. We are told, now the king of Syria had commanded the captains of the chariots who were with him, saying, Fight with no one small or great, but only with the king of Israel. So it was, when the captains of the chariots saw Jehoshaphat, that they said, It is the king of Israel. Therefore they surrounded him to attack. But Jehoshaphat cried out, and the Lord helped him, and God diverted them from him. Whew, that was close. You see, friends, Jehoshaphat was in the wrong company. And we are told in 1 Corinthians 15:33 that bad company corrupts good morals. In this case, bad company almost took King Jehoshaphat out, but God. He would have been dead had the God Most High not intervened. Then Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, returned safely to his house in Jerusalem and met face to face with Jehu, the son of Hanani the seer, who gave him a really hard rebuke. Should you help the wicked and love those who hate the Lord? Therefore the wrath of the Lord is upon you. Nevertheless, good things are found in you. in that you have removed the wooden images from the land and have prepared your heart to seek God, Jehoshaphat was told. Friends, King Jehoshaphat had connected himself, befriended, supported those who he was not supposed to connect to. He had befriended and connected himself to King Ahab, a vile and wicked king. King Ahab was one of the worst kings Israel ever had. He had married Jezebel, a woman who was a pagan worshipper, and a woman who had killed many of God's true prophets. She was wicked. And Ahab was wicked as well. And here was King Jehoshaphat, a man who loved God, connecting himself to King Ahab. It was like oil and water. Oil and water shouldn't mix. But in this case, he chose to connect himself to Ahab, and he almost got himself killed for his foolish decision. Why it not that God intervened? Now, the Lord was with Jehoshaphat, we are told in 2 Chronicles 17, because he walked in the former ways of his father David. He did not seek the Baals, but sought the God of his father, and walked in his commandments, and not according to the acts of Israel. Therefore the Lord established the kingdom in his hand, and all Judah gave presents to Jehoshaphat, and he had riches and honor in abundance, and his heart took delight in the ways of the Lord. King Jehoshaphat was a good man. He was a man who, it seems to me, was a man who was after God's own heart. He was a man who loved the Lord just like his father King Asa, and like his forefather King David. He was loyal to the Lord. He took delight in the ways of the Lord, and the Lord blessed him, because we are told he had riches and honor in abundance. And so I can't help but wonder what else it is that he wanted when he was connecting himself with King Ahab. But well, King Jehoshaphat was a man just like us, a fallen man, not knowing everything that he should know. He only knew in part. And therefore, friends, bad associations, bad connections, and friendships can be terrible for us. It can lead to financial ruin. It can lead to physical ruin or death. Or worse, it can lead to spiritual death. Because bad friendships can lead us astray. And sometimes we may think, this cannot apply to me. I mean, I'm 40 years old. I'm 38. I'm 27. I'm not a silly 12-year-old. I'm not a silly 16-year-old. Well, friends, bad friendships, bad decisions come to us all. They came to a king who loved God, King Jehoshaphat. So friends, beware of who you're connecting with. Beware of your circle, because these friendships, they can lead you away from the path of wisdom, from the path of holiness that the Lord wants you to walk, and they can lead you to a deluded, worldly, and satanic path. And so let us learn from this king, King Jehoshaphat. Let us stay with the word. Let us stay in communion with the Lord Jesus and with those who love him. And let us avoid bad associations. That was my short message to you guys. Be blessed.